Raw and SmackDown have come and gone. Let's see who's up.
Yes! Yes!
And who's down.
No! No!
In this week's Busted Open WWE Power Rankings.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready. This is big.
I put a lot of effort into this, and I'll explain everything as I go along. Number 5, Shayna Baszler. Shayna had a strong win. She looked good at Evolution. Did need a little help to win her match, but nonetheless, she did win. At number 4, Ronda Rousey. Obviously, Ronda main evented Evolution. She is the women's champion on the Raw side. I put her at number 4 because of strength of opponent. I think Nikki was a good opponent, but not the strongest of opponents. Ronda did look good in the end by bumping the both of them around, by bumping Nikki and Brie around. But at number 4, I got Ronda. At number 3, Toni Storm, who I think is a future superstar. Strong win for her, winning the Mae Young Classic. Number 2, after a great match last night, the phenomenal AJ Styles, still your WWE World Champion. And at number 1, the most obvious one, probably the biggest star in the WWE right now, and somebody that could be the face of the company if they wanted her to be, Becky Lynch. Those are my power rankings, and they rule.
Man, I'm trying to pick these apart. I don't know if I can push back on this very much, and I wanted to. Believe me, this is what I like to do. Power rankings, all this stuff in sports. You dipped into something that I think is very good. This happens a lot in college football. Strength of schedule, strength of opponent. I like that you did that. All right, I would flip Shayna and Toni. That's my big one. I might even put Shayna at number 2.
Over AJ beating Daniel Bryan?
Yes.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Go by what you just said. Strength of opponent.
Yes. Kairi Sane's a hell of an opponent.
Is Kairi Sane the same as Daniel Bryan? Has Kairi Sane won a SmackDown or Raw Women's Championship yet?
No, she has not been given that opportunity yet.
Is Daniel Bryan a former world champion?
Yes, he is, multiple times.
Okay, so come on. By strength of opponent alone, you got to give it to AJ. I mean, I'll sit there and have this debate with you all day long because strength of opponents, when it came to my list, came into play a lot. And here's where I toiled and had a little bit of trouble because I honorable mention for my list. Here, I'm going to throw it to you, Matt.
Okay.
Who would be your one honorable mention for this list?
Maybe Charlotte.
Correct. Boom.
Okay.
Circle
right, so
gets
we're agreeing
the square.
on that one.
Johnny, tell him what he's won. You've won some Dinty Moore beef stew. Anyway, yeah, I wanted Charlotte on the list because the match that her and Becky had, obviously off the charts, physical, violent. It made sense. Those girls went out there. They tore the house down. And I do believe that we at least have to give Charlotte her props. Did she win? No. But did she put on one hell of a performance and allow Becky to have the performance that she had? Yes, it takes 2 to tango in pro wrestling. But anyway, those are my rankings. What do you guys think? You agree? You disagree? Get on the old Twitter machine. Tell me you like it. Tell me to go to hell. I don't care.
And we want to hear from you. We want your top 5 as well. We're getting some coming in here. I feel like right now, Bully, until further notice, Becky's locked in at number 1 and I don't care whose power rankings they are. Who's knocking her off of that spot right now? We were discussing how Braun is in a spot where is he ready to be? Is he in the spot right now? Is he positioned to finally win the Universal Championship and for it to mean as much as it needs to mean? I think that's a question right now. AJ and Joe is now the pivot, so that's kind of up in the air. Becky is cemented in her role on top of the mountain, as popular as can be, in the company. She said, forget women, forget Raw, forget SmackDown. I'm the man. She had the shirt that said, I'm the man. I don't know how you're knocking her out of the number one spot anytime soon. Now, everybody else, that's up for debate. Like I said, I think Shayna Baszler, what she did was a different element to her. How far she has come since the Mae Young Classic last year to now, from a in-ring standpoint, from a character standpoint. I like that as a heel. She's a brutal, beat-you-down heel, but at the same time, this time around, okay, I have important friends. I have friends that can help me win. I'm going to use them to my advantage, which is exactly what she did. It added another element. The WWE character of Shayna Baszler is different than what she was in MMA, what she was on the independent scene, and you're seeing now, I think, a finished product coming together with her where I believe her right now as someone who could challenge anyone on NXT, Raw, or SmackDown. It's just a matter of when they pull the trigger with her. Where are you at with Shayna Baszler? Do you think she needs more time in NXT, or do you think that she can move up soon or even immediately?
Here's the thing. You stay in NXT and you're consistently working with the girls down there in NXT. You always want to be in the ring with girls or athletes that are better than you. So eventually she's going to have to move up to the main roster and get in there with girls that are better than her, women that are better than her. So I am not a fan, excuse me, of moving anybody out of NXT until you are absolutely, positively confident that any guy or gal can get onto that main roster and hang and bang with the top talents there. I'm also not a fan of taking anybody out of NXT unless you have a very definitive storyline or direction on the main roster. If you don't have something for Baszler right now, and it seems like they're going in the 4 horsewomen direction, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you don't have anything for her right this very second, leave her down there, keep her in there with the best possible talent you can, more reps, get her more comfortable, better in her transition, better in her work, and then bring her up. I can understand why you're such a big fan of her. I agree with your assessment. I don't agree with why she should be higher on the power rankings. She needed help to win. Toni Storm did not.
To the point with Shayna, I also think there's meat on the bone there in this story because she needed help to win. They've now traded wins here in the last few months. And also, we did see Kyrie confront her in the back after the match was over. So there's still something to do from a story standpoint with her down there. I'm all for it. I just think she's going in the right direction, and she's very credible. And yes, the one thing I think you have with her is Ronda already up. And is that, you said this on Monday, you need Ronda for her position in the company to continue to be cheered. It feels like if you were to bring this into a 4 horsewoman thing, especially the way Shane is positioned right now, that's a heel group. Doesn't that feel like a heel group to you?
Yeah, but I want to get back to the Ronda thing because I want to isolate a moment in time and get your opinion on it. Okay. The backstage, it was post Evolution. I think they showed this on .com with Ronda and Becky talking to each other where they kept calling each other champ. Remember on Monday we spoke, Matt, about how if Ronda and Becky are in the same ring together talking, they got to be really careful?
Yes, they do.
How did you feel about that backstage promo that aired on .com?
Becky came off 1,000 times more confident.
It wasn't even close, was it?
Not at all. And
Ronda,
you know what? Maybe that's why they did it back there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Controlled environment.
Ronda did not seem comfortable in the verbiage. One of the things that I believe Ronda needs to improve on is how comfortable she is with the words that are coming out of her mouth. She has to make them hers. And just Becky had so much more confidence in her limited verbiage than Ronda did in her limited verbiage. This is not taking anything away from Ronda. This goes back to the point of they need to be very careful about who they put Ronda in there with, especially when it's a woman who is on fire the way Becky Lynch is right now.
It seemed like she almost came off, and maybe this is what they were going for. Not that she wasn't taking Becky seriously, but just like, oh, hey, you're a champion as well, and it's all good, where it was almost like Becky was like, no, I am the champion, and I am the best. And Ronda was just kind of like, hey, it was almost like, I'm cool with everything. And then she follows her on Twitter, and Becky said, oh, yeah, you tried that, all that stuff. So I'm with you. I think the controlled environment was a way to keep that for the containment of just what that was. But if you put them out in the crowd, I'm with you. I think that Becky eats her for lunch.
The screen cap on Twitter, when Becky screen capped the thing that said Ronda Rousey is following you, and it said, and then Becky retweeted it and said, you tried. Alex, do we have the sound effect? Yeah, I want that laser sounder. This is what Becky Lynch did to Ronda Rousey.
Total.
Damn it, Alex.
There it is.
She annihilated her. She destroyed her. That was one of the best tweets I've ever seen.
I'm interested to see how they build this. Are they going to allow those two to be out in front of a live crowd going back and forth at each other? And what's Ronda's angle here, Bully? How does she get into Becky? How does she gnaw at her? She went the direction she did with the Bellas. She brought in John Cena. What material does she have to use against Becky, where we know Becky can do a lot of different things there on the mic and come off confident no matter what she says? I don't know what the direction here is for Ronda to fight back on the microphone.
Here's the thing. Ronda has no natural verbiage towards Becky. There's no issue, which lends credibility to what you just said about her coming off very matter-of-factly. Like she was not really concerned or worried about Becky Lynch. She's just like, hey, champ. Yeah, champ. Okay, champ. Yeah, I got a belt too, champ. You know, it was very, like I said, matter-of-factly. They get face-to-face. Becky has tons of ammunition that she can throw at Ronda. And here's the thing. Whatever Ronda says back to Becky, she might get drowned out. People are just so on the Becky bandwagon that Ronda might not be able to say anything. I mean, off the top of your head, Matt, what could Ronda Rousey say to Becky Lynch that's going to get under her skin or get the people on her side?
I don't really have much. To get the people on her side, I don't think there's anything there. She didn't do anything.
What has Becky
steered
done?
Back away from? She had one promo where she was against the fans and admitted, "Hey, I had a bad day." Like they even built that in. There's nothing there. Could
you imagine what would happen if Ronda ever looked at Becky and said, well, you had to stab your best friend in the back. You had to hit her when she wasn't expecting it. You're a bad person for what you did. Could you imagine if Becky just looked back at her and goes, you're right, and you better pray I don't do it to you also? Place is going to go
cheers.
nuts.
Place is going to go nuts. Absolutely.